live the king in prosperity. Long live the king! Long live the king! Long live the king! He looks great, our king! Perfect. King.
Welcome to the Monkey Show, and this is the MPST show, which is what is it called? It's like monkey politics and shit throwing show.
Yeah.
So for a second here, guys, I'm gonna check my mic because last stream it was like really bad. So let me just do a quick mic check. Thank you, Tim. Yeah, it seems to be okay.
All right. Awesome.
All right. Dude, we got some crazy shit today, Tim.
Oh, good Lord.
Like, sometimes, you know, like I don't want to talk about stuff, but I know a lot of people don't pay attention to a lot of things that are going in the world because they're busy, right? So sometimes, hey, Forest Pub, how's it going, Edwin?
Yo.
That is Edwin, right?
Probably. I think there's a guy definitely known as Forest Pub. I don't know if it's the same Edwin we're talking about, but what's up, Forest?
Man, like I say, there is definitely things I just don't want to talk about in this world, but you have to make people aware because sometimes, dear Lord, oh, it's Richard. Yeah, I always forget. Yeah, thank you, Richard.
My bad.
Yeah, I always forget which one's which, right? But yeah, thank you for the correction. So, yeah, carry on, Tim.
I was gonna say, they say things. Reality is stranger than fiction.
Dude, sometimes I just want to crawl into a hole and forget the world exists outside of my little apartment. But sometimes, you know, you just got to face the truth. There are some people who are just beyond redemption in this world, right? So let me start with this. Like I said, I really, yeah. Richard Emery likes the word name Edwin, so I'm always thinking like, is it Edward Boet? Oh, I can't remember his name.
No, he just goes by his name.
Right. All right. Oh Lord, help us all.
Police say an Illinois man used artificial intelligence to create pornographic images of a Lisbon teenager. Well, tonight, prosecutors are using a new charge against the man in a test for state courts. 12 News' Nick Bohr is in Waukesha County.
It's a law that's barely been on the books a year, but prosecutors are using it against a 20-year-old man accused of using AI to virtually undress a 15-year-old girl he knew. As much as
15, bro.
What the actual fuck is wrong with people?
15, bro.
That's so fucked up.
AI is heralded for its potential in medical research and many other fields. There is also a dark side. In 2024, Wisconsin became one of 45 states that criminalize AI-generated child pornography. Aidan Brewis of Illinois is now charged with 3 counts of possession of virtual child pornography after his girlfriend found it on his phone and reported him. Prosecutors say he manipulated.
Good girlfriend. She deserves a reward for that, for being a good human being.
Hopefully she finds someone better.
I think she's going to be creeped out and put off, bro, by being near another man. It's like what happens with lesbians, right? Young girls, right, who are mistreated, end up being, just and males as well. Males who are mistreated by females when they're young actually just turn against that gender completely. So you get a lot, and also abuse, right? So when young girls and boys get abused, they actually, depending what future experiences they have, or like what is it called? Good experiences they have, they might stick to being, um, you know, yeah. I don't know how to finish the sentence, but it's just crazy, bro. Richard says, Frost Pipe says, the company who created AI should notify the prompts to police when requests like this are made. Yeah, bro. Yeah. Oh, here's the thing. So the other day, last week, right, I got Facebook wouldn't let me go in without me having to give up my video images, right? Like a selfie, right? Because they thought I was spamming and I was a bot or something. And I was like, so I went to Grok and I said, hey, Grok, how do I bypass this shit without giving up my actual face? Because they already have everything of me, right? Over the freaking, 10, 15 years I've been on Facebook, they have all my images anyway and videos. So why are they asking me for this? And they goes, well, Grok said, no, I'm not going to let you do that, right? I'm not going to let you bypass their thing. So that, and, Forrest Piper is right. The company who created the AI should notify the prompts to police when requests like this are made. And so, yeah, so Grok basically said, no, I'm not going to help you do that, bypass the law, right, that Facebook has as part of the system. So that's the same thing here. That anytime that sort of prompt is made, police should be notified, right? This dude basically used a photo of a 15-year-old girl he knew to take off her clothes using AI. This 20-year-old freak.
Instagram photos of a 15-year-old Waukesha County girl using AI to depict her naked.
When I first heard about it becoming a law, it struck me that this is unconstitutional.
Criminal defense attorney Anthony Cotton isn't representing Brewis, but has another client facing the same charge.
What if you're a talented artist and you draw a picture that's very good, that maybe looks like it's a child? They could never criminalize you for drawing a picture, but somehow it becomes a 3-year mandatory minimum felony because a computer does it? No way.
Hey, dude, what happens if it's your child? Do you think he'll change his mind there, Tim, if it was his child?
Probably. It should be illegal, the content of the drawing.
Yeah. Like the whole thing is that when you're depicting nudity and as children involved, in this modern age, whatever you want to call it, in this century, right? We have technology that does these things, and then you want to go, oh, you know what? It's a drawing, so it's okay. I get it, but not only the freaks will draw those people naked, right? Only the pedos will share images of children naked. It's not normal artists who do that, right? Because when you're an artist and you're drawing children, hey, you don't think about having them naked first, right?
That's always the excuse that some of these freaks go for is, oh, it's just a drawing. I've heard that used in Comicsgate circles. Isn't that mind blowing that there's certain circles in Comicsgate that actually have used that kind of logic before?
One thing, like when I'm actually doing, got children and the story and stuff, I'm very careful, right? I make sure that there's words like, make sure it's not exploitative, right? It's not in a situation where the kid feels like it's being abused or exploited, because I don't want that out there as an artist, as a creator, right? As a writer, I don't want any of that thing to come back to me and go, oh, look, this is what was in your work. So the first thing you want to think about is, how do I put out work that's actually going to be seen as wholesome according to that age group, right? Forrest Pub says using AI as a conspirator for crime is why a company who created it should have failsafe to protect children. Exactly, dude.
I agree. I would never. Most of the violence and whatever in my comic books, all the characters are adults, and
Right.
like I'll go as far as if I sell at a market, I actually have these stickers for like what the ratings on the books are for. People need to be responsible, and that company should be held liable for allowing that. Liable or responsible? What's the right word for it?
Responsible and liable, right? Because the first thing is when you're in business, you want to think about how to protect yourself right from the start, right? And we're going to look at a company later who basically straight away protected themselves. It's got to do with a YouTuber. So let me continue with this, dude.
The site Brewis is accused of using specifically states, quote, you can't use others' photos without their consent or if they are minors, and, quote, you are solely responsible for the content you generate. Still, Cotton says that shouldn't clear them of responsibility.
Why the hell aren't they prosecuting the companies that create the programs that do it? Like, shut this down and go.
Yes, I was just bringing that up, didn't I?
Yeah.
Apparently, they did have a disclaimer, but they don't have anything to prevent it from happening.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that human beings will always push the limit, right? And I always knew this was going to be the case with technology because, like I said, I always think like 5 steps ahead, right? So if you give me, this, if you give people this sort of technology, it always goes to sex, right? It always gets use of sex because that's the brain, right? They go, oh, let me see if I can, use this for this, right? And it's always going to end up here where you have, creeps who will use for children. There was about maybe 2 years ago where one of the YouTubers on actually might have been a Twitch person, a streamer, right, who basically accidentally opened up his folder, to show what the artwork he was, some photos anyway for his friends, and there was a photo where he'd used a friend of his, female friend of his, on a image of a porn star, a female porn star. He replaced her face. So he put his friend's face on that other person's, on that porn star's face in pornography, sort of film. So these things, like this thing's been happening for 2 years, man. Ever since AI came about, people have been using it for that, right?
After the companies creating AI programs that can produce this disgusting content.
I did speak with Brewis' attorney, Jonathan Lavoie, this afternoon, but he said he couldn't comment on the active case. At the Waukesha County Courthouse, Nick Bohr, WISN 12 News.
And Brewis faces a minimum of 3 years in prison on each of the 3 possession charges. He's free on a $10,000 bond.
Man. Imagine having that dude in your neighborhood, man, taking pictures of your kids and then taking to AI and undressing them, right? All right. So the next, talking about YouTubers, and as I mentioned about that other guy who, had his female friend's face on a, porn star's video footage or whatever for gooning material. Well, next up we have Scotty K Fitness. This dude got he did some nasty things. So let me cover this up. I'm not nasty things. His behavior. He's got 4 million followers, dude. All right, 2 million to 4 million followers.
Raising serious questions about boundaries.
Hold on, I went too far ahead.
Scotty K Fitness, a well-known fitness influencer recognized for mental health advocacy and gaming-themed charity content, became the center of major backlash in late January 2026 after a heated TikTok response to online trolls. What began as a personal clapback quickly escalated into a platform-wide controversy, raising serious questions about boundaries, accountability, and how fast influencer disputes can spiral into public crises. If you want to keep up with how internet culture and creator accountability continue to evolve, subscribing helps you stay connected to the bigger picture behind viral moments. The incident was triggered when an online user mocked Scotty's appearance, comparing him to a character from the show Ozark. Scotty responded with,
Tim?
Yeah, I really think people need to stop listening to quote unquote influencers.
Right.
That's like the bar. That's like the low bar of being some kind of celebrity.
Yeah, it's very low tier, right? I like YouTube celebrity is one of the weirdest things, man. And like Instagram and Kick and Twitch and all that, it's just like it's feeding people's ego, right? And the problem
Right.
is once the egos are fed, they're just like any other celebrity. They just fall hard, you know?
Right. Well, then it's never enough. They have to do stupider. They have to try to do stupider and stupider things to kind of maintain that that self worship.
Yeah, and not only that, but then they feel like they are untouchable and they can do not, they can do no wrong. And this is what happens with this dude, right? Scotty K Fitness.
the video that critics say included personal information about the troll, leading to widespread accusations of doxing. At the same time, some viewers said parts of his response came across as mocking disabled people, further intensifying the backlash. The video spread rapidly across TikTok, Reddit, and Instagram, splitting his audience. Supporters argued it was an emotional reaction to harassment, while critics said it crossed ethical and legal lines. The debate quickly moved beyond one video, becoming a broader discussion about influencer power and responsibility. The fallout turned real when Rice Supplements publicly ended their partnership with Scotty, distancing the brand from the controversy. The sponsorship loss underscored how quickly online behavior can translate into real-world consequences for creators. As Scotty continues posting, the situation remains a cautionary example of how personal conflicts, when handled publicly, can reshape a creator's reputation overnight and redefine how audiences and brands respond to digital accountability.
Right. So, Tim, you got something to say add to this?
Well, first I'm gonna say happy birthday and hail KSSS. And we don't know where Duck Boy is, so.
Oh, hey, my very good friend KSS. Welcome to the show. Yeah, yeah. When I saw that mustache, bro, I was like, dude, how do you eat? Right? How do you eat? Because like I have I have a goatee. So, got a mustache, got the bit of a beard. And today I actually went and cleaned up and now lost 10 years of my life by having a shave. So it's crazy because I feel like how does this guy eat, man? Right? How does this guy eat with that mo there, right? It's like a walrus. Dude's like a walrus, man.
Cuckoo, cuckoo.
Yeah. Exactly. How does he enjoy soup, right? How does he enjoy soup?
Well, he stores it in his mustache and saves some of it for later.
That kind of reminds me of Twits. Remember the Twits from Roald Dahl? And they can always get food stuck in their beards and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm 53 this year, and like another in May. So was that 4 months now, I guess. And dude, like, I couldn't handle like I have my mustache is over here. It just goes over my top lip. That's it. And even then, I have problems with trying to eat. Right, getting stuff in there like cheese and whatever. Because I just had a pizza before. I'm like, I got to clean this up. So I went and basically all I have now is like a really small like goatee like this, whereas I could not ever handle this shit, bro. Like even when it gets into your beard, it's like, dude, I'm trying to eat here, and it's like next thing it's all over your hair and your beard and stuff. Tim?
Yeah, I can't have that problem. It's all along my chin. I have like I have a mustache when I let it grow, but because of my job, I have to always shave it all.
Right. Yeah, man. It's just Mr. Walrus, man. But like, dude, this guy was bad. So when you get, like I was saying, when you get to this stage of like influencer, quote unquote, you get an ego, right? You feel like untouchable, and this is what this guy went and did.
I'm calling to request increased patrol at my home address.
He is in fear for his family's lives because people have showed up to his house. What else are you lying about? Well,
dude, what the hell was that with this clicking noise? And I thought there was something wrong with my videos, but like, it's this like, what kind of like video is this? You got 10 minutes and you got loud as clicking noise, and you can't even hear people say stuff. Yeah.
I don't know.
It's terrible.
Is it the alerts from my
about being a bounty.
Instagram?
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it's because you were swearing or something. But
I'm not
yes.
swearing.
No. These guys were like, maybe that's why it's like ticking, like it's a time bomb kind of going off. Kessa says, if I could grow a stash like that without my girlfriend leaving me, I would try it out. Yeah, I kind of went for this handlebar one time, and didn't work. So this goatee is probably the simplest thing to do and best way to go. All right, let me play this.
His house. What else are you lying about? Well, we also know that you're lying about being a bounty hunter because you were never legally registered as a bounty hunter.
The Scotty K Fitness, prior military infantry veteran turned the fitness influencer of 2 million followers on Instagram and various other platforms as well, has essentially built a platform that has been against bullying, hate, discontent, whatever else. And it appears he got caught up in his own messaging because he was a hypocrite and did exactly that. But if you don't know what I'm exactly talking about, the video I did yesterday performed like the best that I've ever done in a while. That video tells you kind of up to where we're at now, but I wanted to show the aftermath of what we're seeing here and how some people are still defending this. Now, first off, a lot of people are calling for the fall of his branding and sponsors and things like that, and Rise, being one of the main ones, has actually taken him off their affiliate and said, we're not part of this, and they kind of call him out in a way I've never seen any other company. Rise says, a statement from Rise. Effective immediately, Rise is no longer affiliated with or represented by the individual involved in recent controversy. We are aware of comments made by this prior affiliate that were hurtful and inappropriate toward individuals with physical and mental disabilities. Those views do not reflect our company's values, and we do not support or condone language or behavior that is discriminatory, harmful, or dismissive of any community. We take this matter seriously and have taken immediate steps to address the situation directly with the individual involved. We are reviewing our affiliate partnerships and internal processes to ensure our standards of respect, inclusivity, and accountability are upheld. To our community, we hear your concerns. We appreciate you holding us to a high standard, and we are committed to doing better. Now, what's even more crazy.
So this is what happens when you get sponsorships, right? You lose your your rights to whatever you want to do, right? Say right. And whatever. But these guys know the rules, and the rules when they sign up to these contracts, it's stated there what you're not allowed to do and what you will do for what you're going to get, right? And a lot of people, it's the same thing in arts, right? An artist thing, when you as a contractor, when you as a publisher studio, you hire an artist. They're there to do a job. Until that job is finished, they're still, they're got to provide you what you've asked for and required for. And so that is between them and the, and the signee of the contract, not some outside party. The problem here is with influencers, they think they can still behave like they can when they have all this money coming to them by people whose products they're promoting. Now, Kessa said that He's an ex-military, by the way, KSS. So that's why he can grow that. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to grow that, right? You got to have clean, something that won't get you, in situations, I guess, caught in your, if you got a grenade, you're trying to pull it with your teeth, and next thing you know, it's stuck in your teeth or something weird like that. I don't know. And Tim, of course, says, "Oh, what about the Canadian military? Does Canada have a military?"
I would think so.
Because they've opened their doors to China and Pakistan and India and Iran. So maybe they don't have a military.
Maybe they're all a bunch of lumberjacks.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Mustaches can hold a lot of blood.
Like soup. They can hold a lot of soup too.
They tag Scotty's post of like, this is exactly why. And I think it's appropriate because if you're a brand, you want to protect it and you're like, this is exactly what we do not appreciate. I find that to be top tier what this is. And now we're going to see a lot of in between in the comments of this where I'm like, wait, people are still going to defend Scotty for doxing somebody with 2 million followers for somebody that was also in a wheelchair. And I just don't understand how this is not just like slam dunk.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is get back to that he's done thing, because I was watching this other guy talk about this yesterday, which was better. But then I haven't
ever done in a while.
Then I kind of like forgot where that was, and I went looking for it, and I couldn't find the right. Here we go. That person's had a better.
Something else you may not know is
better. Yeah, this guy keeps making all these stupid noises on at the start of the stream. Like, what the hell, man? Out of his videos. So anyway, let me see if I can get to where I want to talk about what he actually did. Right? Look.
Him. And this is podcast host and says safe space and has a rainbow there. Essentially.
All right. Kesa says, I was just commenting on his mustache where he was wearing a helmet and face paint. The stash was way too big for regulations unless he was special forces. I don't know. I think he might have grown it afterwards. Kesa, because like this is my mustache, right? That's what I have. So then I have a goatee, right? Bit of a beard here, and I cannot handle even a little bit of hair poking over the lip because food, man, is just going to touch it. Ew, But I don't like looking like I'm 30 years old or 20 years old when I shave, because this guy, like, he would look way older if he had the whole beard, like another 20 years. But yeah. Anyway,
hypocrisy has gotten the best of this veteran because he's being called out as apparently he's handled hate comments on his social media not in the best way and could land him in federal prison, quite literally.
Yeah, fucking political. That was murder. An ICU nurse who worked at the VA who was legally carrying a firearm that was fucking holstered while he was filming, who is now being painted as a domestic terrorist because he took a gun to a protest.
Now, like you said, we're not getting political, and I'm not getting political. But what I don't really have a tolerance for is moral fagging, performative moral fagging. You're clearly very amped up about what you deem an excessive response to something that was not that problematic. But if that's the case, shouldn't you be consistent with that across everything? Shouldn't you apply your morals universally? That's typically how it works, unless you're just moral fagging. So say somebody said you looked like a gay guy, and then you doxed him, his job, his address, and his entire family. Would that be something that was too excessive? Because you did do that.
Hate is receiving homophobic comments like this one.
And that comment here is from N8 Remy, who says, you look like the gay brother. And he says from...
Oh, yeah. So this is what I wanted to put out. Like, this is what actually led him to his downfall, right? Because he just took one comment out of the millions he probably got and used that to go after this dude, right? To really go hard on it, Tim. Like, this dude basically, like, doxed this guy over a simple troll post, right? This guy in the blue hoodie stash is military acceptable. You talking about this one here or the other guy? Is that blue? Because that's gray to me. Does that look like blue to you? Because that looks great to me.
That looks
okay, it says,
gray
are
to
you
me
wearing your
too.
glasses? Are you wearing glasses,
I
KSS?
think
Because I'm wearing
that's
glasses.
gray. Yeah, just the way he's got it. Like he looks insane that way. Like he's somebody who never leaves the house.
Wait, KSS, is this the Wyatt Earp mustache? Is that Wyatt Earp? Or is it the other handlebars, the Wyatt Earp?
Would that be something that was too excessive? Because you did do that.
Hate is receiving homophobic comments like this one.
And that comment here is from N8 Remy, who says, "You look like the gay brother." And he says from Ozarks, the show, and says, "Gets pounded out by the FBI agent and something like him, too."
And something else you may not know is that I'm a former bounty hunter. So, shout out to my boy Tomo. Nick, welcome to Real Life Consequences. Your middle name is... You were born in September. The last 4 digits of your phone number are... You're a journeyman welder at your UA local. You've been there since February. And hey, that's some pretty good money, which probably is how you afforded that 3-bed, 2-bath house right across from...
So a guy said that you look like a gay guy on TV, which is, I mean, it's true. You do look like him. And you decide to tell everybody his full name, his date of birth, his phone number, where he lives, where he works, and try to completely ruin his life. That would seem like an excessive response to what happened. Okay. If people are going to say you look like a fag, that's just going to happen, right? Well, we get hate comments. Oh, but what I'm not going to stand for is homophobic comments in 2026. It's the big 2026, guys. It's the current year. So it's not even about being political. It's just about this moral fagging performative bullshit. If you want to be this fucking high and mighty moral creator that's better than everybody, maybe you shouldn't put someone's life in danger or their job in danger or endanger their fucking family just because they said you look like a fag. If you want to dox me, Scotty, you can just DM me. I'll send you my address. The point being here, you don't get to take the moral high ground when you're a piece of shit.
Just
Wait, so this is the mustache you're talking about? Oh, the other guy's already. Yeah, I think he's talking about the other guy. KSS is talking about the other guy's Wyatt Earp, and this is the normal dude. Carry on, Tim. Sorry.
I wanted to point out there are quite a bit of people in online that do what they refer to as moral,
Yeah.
And it's a lot of it does seem to be performative. I mean, there's not a lot of people online that seem to be genuine. They all see that's what the thing about the algorithm is, that they all try to do this performative thing and try to be someone else. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, man. I can't understand. Like, for the life of me, I can't understand coming on here and being somebody else, speaking like somebody else. Like, I mean, I've done acting, right? I've written for stage, and I've been in like huge international plays, right? Here that came over into New Zealand a couple of years back, and we had like thousands of people turn up to watch, over the 3-night weekend that we performed, and I've written plays myself, like stage plays where I've acted. But when I come on here, I can't act. I just got to tell you exactly what I think, what I feel. Even if you guys, if people hate me for it, it is what it is, right? But these guys, they have to come on here and like be macho, right? They go over the top macho, bro. I don't understand why people do that. Like, you got people in Comicsgate who perform the same way. Like they try to play kayfabe, good radio, but like, you guys are like out here telling people and showing people, oh, you're just acting this out. But like when you show up in real life, there are people who won't think of that as acting. And we're going to look at what happens to people who do that sort of shit later, after this one.
Another thing is just the thing about kayfabe, though. They use that in wrestling. It's a wrestling term. And kayfabe, the person that they're acting with, their opponent, is in on the thing. So there's not like you're kayfabing and like the other person's has no idea what's going on. That's the thing that some of these people don't understand. Like the whole kayfabe thing is everybody's in on it.
Right.
Yeah, just
to add a new character to this story, you need to know who Run Vu's coaching is. Now, this person has essentially been kind of the ringleader of pointing out some of this against Scotty K Fitness and his antics that have been going on. But that is why he's in these videos. And what's interesting about this is the saga continues on, and it does not get any better, as doxing is something people take very seriously. If you're going to post people's private information, that is a dangerous slope. If it was something you could have gotten him in trouble for, if he was, worked at some place, he wanted to send it to his employers, I don't even agree with that. But I'm like,
do you remember when Ghost of Nessa was being doxxed or something by Comicsgate, bro?
Say it again.
Ghost of Nessa, like her channel, like because she didn't play but ball with EVS and Comicsgate.
Oh, Danger
John
Vanessa?
Malin. Danger Vanessa, right?
Yeah. It might have been Malin who had a problem with her, and they basically chased her off YouTube or something.
Okay, so let me. Okay, I'm just going to bring up this one as kind of like a palate cleanser from these sort of people, right? Where is it? This one here, right? So let's just a bit of a sidetrack before we go into even worse things. Once this one comes up. All right, so this is this. There's a whole bunch of things here, but we'll just play a couple just for a bit of in between moments. Is that the one? Let me just check.
A man was told by his son in the fall of 2021. A man was told by his son that on multiple occasions a stranger had touched him in a manner that felt uncomfortable at a bus stop in Oklahoma City. The parent thus decided to park his vehicle in the area and record the stranger in the act. The pervert, subsequently identified as 33-year-old Michael Coghill, jogged past the bus stop. On September the 22nd, he was observed looking at his watch and then running back in the direction of the station when children arrived. The father captured Coghill on camera as he put his arm around his son and then moved his hand around the boy's backside. At that point, the father got out and confronted Coghill, who tried to run away. He didn't get far as the other man chased him down, wrestled him to the ground, and beat him up. Coghill sustained a broken eye socket and a fractured skull before he was arrested. He was taken to a local hospital where staff determined that no surgery was required to mend his injuries. In his mugshot, Coghill exhibited a bleeding nose bridge and a black eye that was nearly swollen shut. He was booked at the Oklahoma County Detention Center on charges of forcible fondling and lewd or indecent proposals or acts involving a minor. Coghill was a pastor at the Lake Homer Church of Christ in Mustang, not far from where the altercation occurred. Church officials released a statement saying they were shocked and heartbroken by his arrest, noting that he had a clean background check and that they hadn't received any reports against him during his tenure. Number 13, Heisem Rider.
Imagine like sending your kid to school, your young child, to a school that's done background checks and all that, and then your child comes home and tells you that every time you go and wait for your bus stop, one of the teachers comes in, starts touching his backside. What do you do? And this parent basically did what he should have done as a parent protecting his child, right?
I was going to say.
Yeah, carry on.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say he did exactly what everybody wants to do and should do.
Yeah. Small towns are better run with these sort of things than larger towns because people can like hide in larger cities and towns, but in small towns, bro, small towns got their own justice system at work, and I come from a small town where justice was served. Oh yeah, we're talking about like doxing, right? So Ethan, this is from Comicsgate, is actually Ethan Van Sciver. That's Comicsgate because that's a brand now. It's his business. So Comicsgate boss, CEO, director, whatever you want to call it, Ethan Van Sciver lied and said Vanessa accidentally doxed herself on that last stream and left herself left because her bosses might find out about her channel. This is all BS bullshit. She left because his fans hounded her. Yeah. So this is the kind of like things you have, like so-called influencers, and one of the most hardest ones around is Ethan Van Sciver in Comic Day. One of the most retardedness morons around in indie comics is Ethan Van Sciver. Tim?
Yes, this Michael Coghill guy, he's definitely going to hell, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. But he got justice on Earth as well, which is I'm all for justice on Earth, bro. I don't like about like the spiritual life and world, but he got bashed here, and then when he ends up in prison, there'll be prison justice for him, right? For fiddling with a little boy, Right, we're gonna we do need a bit of like a nicer bit of okay, this is the one I was after. All right, so that was less a bit of a nasty one. But here's a FO FUFO and FUFO. Now, let me get the right little man. I have these open, but I don't see where they're open, which is annoying the hell out of me. There it is. It's right at the friggin' top. There we go. So this is FAFO. Fuck around, find out in Beverly Hills. Like I hate pranksters. I mean, like the so-called YouTube pranksters now, right? Who do this sort of stuff is like, man, people aren't going to put up with it. People just want to go about living their lives. Stop trying to stress them out. Make them into some sort of like targets for oops, wrong one. Targets for your for your YouTube video and shit. Just leave people alone.
On a Beverly Hills sidewalk and tried shoving him into a woman who was standing next to a building and looking at her phone. It was clear based on the TikToker's surprised facial expression that he didn't expect what came next. Just a moment or two after being shoved by the prankster, the target turned around and roundhouse kicked him, immediately giving the victim the upper hand in the situation. The man proceeded to kick the TikToker several more times, taking him down to the sidewalk as he held his arms up in an apparent attempt to shield his face. Commenters were amused not only because the man behind the prank got what many felt he deserved, but because he had inadvertently chosen a target who appeared to be very fit and at least somewhat well trained in fighting. At the end of the video, the TikToker could be seen standing on the pavement, seemingly in shock, with his backpack on the ground next to him, while the man who kicked him calmly walked away. Number 16. Cone Man.
What do you think of that one, man? Tim?
Oh, it used to be that when people did pranks, it would be like at their work or something, and the coworker or maybe a boss would be in on it. So, and it would be something that wouldn't be, it would be like, I don't know, something that wouldn't be like just being a bother to that person.
Yeah.
It would just be something that'd be unusual or like, then they'd eventually there'd be like the big reveal that it's a joke. And
right.
It'd be like, oh, okay, it's a joke, ha ha ha, it'd be fine. But this now, there was actually another TikToker or YouTube or something that was harassing this. It was like a Uber delivery guy, and he just pulled out a gun and shot him,
right,
and walked away. Yeah,
that's what I mean. Like people just, everybody's kind of like in some sort of level of stress, right? And so you don't want to like tick them, be that person that meets them, does something to them at the wrong time, right? And I think that's what a lot of people don't realize is that, stop being a tart out here in the world, right? On the streets when people are just busy going about doing their business in the time that they have out of work, right? Because otherwise they're working. This is their free time to do stuff.
Well, and just, if I may, this is also tied into the whole like what people like Riley thinks is humor. People in going into the real world to harass people in the real world don't find that kind of stuff funny. And just like that one guy who was bothering that delivery guy, he got shot. So I mean, Riley's probably lucky because he didn't get shot by anybody, but he runs the risk of that happening.
Right. For those people who don't know who this Riley is you're talking about, do you want to
Oh yeah.
elaborate on that?
That guy that was the producer of the Dick Masterson's show, and the guy who was like stalking and harassing Eric July. The
Right.
guy who he's considered quote unquote a piss pornographer.
Right.
Yep.
And he's part of Confiscate, doesn't he? Part of Ethan Van Sciver's Inner Circle. So Kesa says Tanner Cook was that guy that you were talking about there, to mess with that guy. The guy shot him. The jury found the man not guilty. There was another guy who was harassing this dude in the mall, and the dude said, "Just leave me alone, dude. Just leave me alone. I'm just doing my own thing." And the guy wouldn't, and so the dude pulled out a gun. So we're now going to move on to the main topic of the day, and later on we're going to go into Aussie, and about free speech. Kesa says, I brought up the Tanner Cook shooting case when Riley was doing his crap. That was it like 2 years ago or something? Tim?
Yeah, it was. But the funny thing is now he's suffering from PTSD because of one night in jail. And it's
really,
oh, that's hilarious.
Wow. Kesa says the delivery guy who shot Tanner Cook was okay. So that was the same story then. Yeah, I mean, not the same story, but the same thing that I'm talking about. Okay, let me see if I can find it. Tanner Cook, right?
Oh yeah, I should totally find that story.
Tanner Cook shot by delivery. Spell it right, dude. Spell it right. Man. Oh yeah, this is the one. You're right. So let's pop this up, and then we'll go to. Yeah, this is the one I remember really well. So let me pop out of this, and we'll come back to that one in a second, and we'll go with this. And look, I've seen people like, not by my own eyes, but I've seen videos of people where this dude had a beef on YouTube with this person, with this other YouTuber, and then ended up actually shooting them in public. And I've been ever since. I mean, I keep saying like people got to stop doing this sort of shit for viral video bullshit.
It's shocking, never before seen video that led to the shooting of a notorious YouTube prankster. You can see the prankster. He's the 6'5" dude in the white baseball cap. His target is a guy named Alan Coley, and he's holding a bag of food he just picked up at the food court at the Dulles Town Center in Virginia. At one point, the 31-year-old Coley shoves the phone out of his face. But the prankster, 21-year-old Tanner Cook, is unrelenting. But the prankster never expected this reaction.
So here's the thing, right? Remember when when a girl says stop in a situation and you carry on,
right?
This is basically similar to that, except they're both males, and the guy should have just stopped and effed off somewhere else, right? Left them alone. But yeah, thank you. Kesa says, careful showing inside edition clips. Make sure to pause and comment every few minutes. Awesome. Yeah. So
Tim. Notice it's the same type of thing that Psycho Sean and Riley do, where they show up and they put their phone in your face.
Yeah,
it's the same. It's the same kind of thing.
And then someone's just going to whip out a gun or whip out a belly stick, as UK police have, or you got that one where it extends out, that metal thing,
or a knife.
Or a knife, right? You just can't piss off people thinking that they won't retaliate or react, right?
A bullet fired into his stomach and liver by some.
Yeah, look at him. He thinks he's all cool. Yeah. Lucky to survive, bro. You're lucky
Yeah,
to
he
still
could
be alive.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's pretty cool that you're still alive. Because that dude, if he had aimed a bit higher, you'd be on the ground dead. Right? Because it's over here. But if it was over here, that angle, right in the middle where it's, between in your chest, a bit to the left, as they say, that's your heart, and that's you done.
Liver. By some miracle, he survived. Coley was arrested, and a jury just found him not guilty of aggravated malicious wounding. The prankster is seen leaving court with his mother after the verdict.
So I really don't care. I mean, it is what it is.
That was the first time.
Yeah. Hey, how's it like being a parent to this piece of shit? How's that?
In their early 20s and should know better.
Yeah, I guess you're okay with letting your child go out there and do this. Maybe next time it might be in the head. Might be next time he doesn't get out of freaking hospital, right? These guys are they don't want to take responsibility for their actions, bro. Right?
Is pathological the right word?
Yeah. All right, let's go to Indonesia. Yeah. Yeah. Newsflash. Okay, so it says his parents also pieces of shit. Shocking, I know. Yeah, usually you find that people that are like that, they have the support at home to be like that. Right? It's like it's like bullies in school, right? Kids are bullies in school because they get bullied by parents at home because their parents are bullies, right? And so they just monkey see, monkey do, right? And I'm no pun intended, me being the Monkey King, but yeah, monkey see, monkey do, man. So now we're going to go to this little main topic of the day, which is Indonesian couple caned 140 times for sex outside marriage and drinking alcohol. And this is interesting because I've got all across the world, Muslims want this sort of law, which is Sharia, to be part of the West. And Western leftists, commie socialists, are all for it. Yeah, Mountain Dew. Tim knows. All right. So this is coming from YN We Are One News.
On to other updates. The medieval use of caning as a punishment in Indonesia has sparked outrage after a 21-year-old woman fainted reportedly after receiving 140 lashes for having sex outside marriage and drinking alcohol reportedly. And she, along with her partner, was struck on their backs. This was in a public park with many people in attendance reportedly. And after the young woman collapsed, she was carried off the stage by female officers to an ambulance. 4 others, including a Sharia police officer and his female partners, were also flogged after being caught in close proximity in a private place. The number of lashes imposed is believed to be one of the highest since implementation of the Sharia law. This part is home to 5.4 million people. It's the only province in Indonesia to apply Sharia law. It was granted special autonomy in 2006 following an agreement signed between Indonesia and a separatist group.
Tim, inside a country, they allow another law to exist. That is Islam. And this is what I'm going to swear, this religious ideology, political movement called the devil, I call it the devil's religion. All right, out and out. I'm not going to fucking mince words. this devil's religion basically is allowed to carry out the citizens of that country capital punishment on them, right? Islam needs to be eradicated from the entire world, from the West especially. They need to be sent back into the Middle East where they belong and left there, bro, as far as I'm concerned, because seriously, this is medieval bullshit and Islam is medieval and they should go back to medieval shit. Yeah, it's like people are watching people get caned, and the cane is a bamboo stick, so it's not like just a piece of wood or something, soft. Yeah, man, it's just crazy, dude.
21.
At 21. No, it was 140, dude. It was 140.
140. Yeah, that kind of makes sense. You've ever heard of the comedian Jeff Dunham?
I haven't watched him for a while, but yes.
He has a character called Ahmed the Undead Terrorist. Now he wasn't required to change it when he went to Saudi Arabia, but when he got to Indonesia, he had to change him to Jacques the Undead Terrorist. And there were actually police at that event, and he accidentally slipped up and said Ahmed, and then the whole set pauses for a brief second, and then Jacques, he saves it by going, "I think you better run," because I guess they were kind of inching their way towards the stage, but I guess he must have saved it by kind of getting back into it. This is a French terrorist. So he had to change for that specific country. He had to change his bit.
Yeah,
and I guess this makes sense. This kind of lines up with the fact that they're doing this Sharia law BS in Indonesia.
But it's not. They don't only want it there, bro. They want it everywhere they're existing. UK, there's places in UK that you can't go because it's run by Sharia Muslims. Right, Shiite. I think they're called Shiites.
You shouldn't be allowed to overrun another country's laws. In fact, I think that should automatically make it where you get deported.
Yeah, and not only that, you shouldn't have any of these people in your government.
Nope.
Either. And I'm all for tolerance, right? I'm all for tolerance, but they influence political laws that run your country. So having these people here having their own little area of the country where they can carry out these sort of abuses because these people here, they're not part of Islam's country. Like they're not Iranian citizens, right? They're not Saudi citizens. They're not Afghani. They're citizens of Indonesia. So the Indonesian government should be accountable for looking after their citizens and not giving precedence to these morons over here in this little small community where they can do whatever they want. It's like letting pedophiles in a little area get away with doing pedophilia while the rest of the country is, has laws against pedophilia. That's how I see this as.
Yeah, it is kind of like subverting like a country's sovereignty.
And they want that in the UK, dude. And now I'm gonna flip over to. I just saw this come up when I went to post on Twitter, like that we're gonna stream. So, and this was put up there by Dr. Malif, whose videos I actually share quite a bit on our channel, on the Monkey King of Zealandia channel. So he put this up, right? So let me go down. It goes, Muslim extremists in Sweden, right? In Sweden, protest and call for Sharia law. That same law, because they can beat up women, right? And children. And nobody can do anything about it. They want Sharia law so much. Why don't they go back to where they come from? Right? This is happening in Germany. This is happening in France. This is happening all over Europe and UK. And I'm telling you, bro, it's going to happen. You know, they're going to call for it in Australia, and they're going to call for it in New Zealand. But that's why I'm out here in New Zealand going, listen, we need to make sure that Muslims and Indians and Muslim Indians don't get to do this sort of shit.
So what's the consensus among most of the Swedish country? Are they like, no way?
Who knows, man? Most of these freaking people are run by leftists, and leftists are top, bleeding heart liberals, like they say, who are, tolerance. But you can't tolerate Islam, bro. Islam is the only religion.
Tolerate you.
Yeah, because they don't tolerate anything. So, yeah, we should not tolerate and let them come into our countries preaching this bullshit or whining this bullshit. Okay, says right. Why don't they go back to their own country? Because it's an international invasion. It is, exactly, bro. It is an invasion, right? Invasion through passports, through legal and illegal means. Yeah, intentional, right? It is. It's an invasion, and people are so stupid, especially leftists. They say, "Yeah, let them in." I'm like, "Yo, what religion are you? Sorry, you can't come into our country. Your religion is against our beliefs as a Western country. I don't care if you think we're intolerant. Just get back, just out. Sorry, no visa for you." There's no reason why a country has to accept terrorists, because these people are terrorists, asking for these sort of active punishment for and shit, right? They want these the Sharia law. I'm gonna put a video up to explain that in a minute. It's just this disgusting thing. It's like medieval, right? Chop your hands off, right? I put a post about that later, and I'll show you that as well, because that's from an ex-Muslim. So let me put this through. It's only 30 seconds to go. Let me make sure the volumes are right. Yep, it's full volume. Hopefully it's not too loud. Hey, we were talking about performative yesterday with the leftists. Doesn't this look like just like leftists?
Oh yeah, where he's looking right at the camera and doing it.
Yeah, he was looking at his own camera just before as well. Like, what was it? Like, he's looking at that camera there, right? What was it? Was it there? He was looking at one camera, then you got these cameras. Everywhere's got a camera. It's like, yeah, we need you guys to follow our rules, even though this is not our country. I have never once in my 43 years of being in, 46 now, I think, of being in New Zealand, ever thought New Zealand should be like Fiji, where I come from, right? It should be like this. Never once, bro. But I've heard Indians from India say, "Oh, our police should behave like the Indians in India." The Indian police, or we should do things more like that. So then go the fuck back.
Yeah.
Our country's our country. Pardon?
Exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, man, these guys just deport them all, bro. Go get go to their homes. You got their images. Go to their homes. Go, hey, sorry, return to your country. We don't want you promoting this sort of stuff in our country. It goes against our laws. Scan his face, and everybody else's. Put it in the thing. Sorry, dude. We saw you out here promoting an illegal law system in our country, right? That is against our country's laws and Bill of Rights or whatever it is. And now you need to get the hell out of our country.
I just thought of something. Mm-hmm. Why not all the countries in the West pass a law that makes anything that, even if they try to push Sharia law, we already have a law in the books that makes it null and void.
It's not even null and void.
No matter what they do, no matter what they do, they can't get it in because it's automatically null and void.
Yeah, but this is about politics, bro. It's a political movement. Islam is a political movement, right? Which pushes and gets people. They bring in billions of dollars from the Middle East to push this sort of shit, to get their people into places of power. Right? Like you look at New York City, bro. You guys got a Muslim in there, a commie Muslim as the mayor. How the fuck did that happen in New York,
Yeah,
where the Twin Towers were blown down?
He's already trying to take private property away from people. I guarantee you, there'd be a lawsuit if he tries going through with it.
Yeah, but this is the problem. They don't care about law, bro. They have their own thing.
That's why you get lawyers involved and actually sue them.
No, you just deport them.
Yeah,
There shouldn't
I know,
be
but
like
I'm saying-
we can't like the problem for us. From my standpoint is this: that if someone's preaching something that's against your country's rights, right, citizenship laws and stuff, you just put them on the plane and you get them out. Please don't return again, otherwise we'll kick you out again. Problem is we're too tolerant. The West has become way too tolerant, bro.
Right.
And so we let these people go out and start preaching all this bullshit, hate for New Zealand, hate for Australia, hate for UK, hate for America. Right? But we let them do it because we're tolerant, because our First Amendment allows it, or Second Amendment. What amendment do you guys have in America that allows them for free speech, right? So they use that free speech against your own country. So Kessa says they're trying to do that in certain places in the US. Michigan is one. They also had them show up in Texas, which tells me they did not do their research. Texas isn't the state for that. Yeah, but they have political money, bro. Right? This is a problem with the Middle East people. They have political money.
I would say the start to pushing back when you have politicians already in the system and already is to when they try to do something like that, like try to take private property away from people and such, sue them. And I'll give you an example why. Gavin Newsom, who's a lefty, tried to do they tried to pass a law making like you get fined for certain things you post on social media. So all the tech companies said, you pass that law, we're suing. And so he vetoed it as soon as it hit his desk.
Well, the problem here is, dude, that a lot of the richest people in these places are actually Muslims, right? People say Jews rule the world and all this. Yeah, because they're smart. But they don't push their political movement onto you. They don't push their religion onto you. These people do all across the world. Muslims push their religion onto everybody. And the problem is that a lot of stupid white women, right, around the world don't know what the religion's about, right? They just want to get their, they just want to get, their little bag. They want to get their little,
brownie
privates touched, that sort of thing by these guys. So they're okay with that. Sadly, they actually are against their very own countrymen, right? See, this dude looks white to me. Do you think that dude's white? Because that dude looks white, right? This dude here looks white. This lady is white.
Looks like he drinks soy milk.
Yeah. So, and he's from freaking Pakistan. That's why he's dark. So he's Indian, right? He's probably an Arab. He's probably Iranian, or maybe probably Saudi, right? But that dude and that chick, they're basically white. So you're being infiltrated by Islam without even knowing it, and then all these people get money from Iran, right, which is the biggest donor and funder of terrorism, to go out and do all this shit. Look at this. Oh, I'm on the phone. Look, we here want Sharia. Yeah, look, we're in the free Sweden and we want Sharia, right? We want this man to beat me if I have sex outside marriage. This man to beat me when I have this when a little bit of hair is showing, right? Yeah, I want that man to put acid on my face. That's the law. That's Sharia law. The first thing to do here is round them all up and arrest them, bro. You're in a public place screaming and shouting, disturbing the peace. Look at how much police are wasting their time here when they could be helping people, you know?
Yeah.
But no. They should be removed from the country, bro. When they start playing up like this, that's what Trump said, right? He said, like, if you're on a student visa and you get involved in protests, you get your visa revoked instantly. Oh, but we, you know, no, that's not your right. You don't come from this country. Therefore, you know, if you're not a citizen of this country, the rights don't apply to you of this country. So you get back on that plane and you get the hell out. I think we're just too tolerant in the West, bro. And I'm telling you, bro, I think in the next 5 years, we're going to find out how tolerant has buried us as a nation, every nation in the West. Basically, we're going to be, this is why I want Iran to fall so bad, bro, because I want the Iranian people to win their.
As if the U.S.
Sorry, bro?
All right.
You were saying? Are you there? What's going on with you? Anyway, while he's doing his thing, so let me play the Sunni and Shia thing, right? So you guys know what we're talking about here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there was
what were you
going
gonna
to technical difficulties here. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
I forgot now.
White rule.
All right. Well, we'll leave you to it then.
In the 7th century, a new faith was unveiled to the.
All right. So this is about the whole difference between the Sunni and Sharia, like the you know, they try to say it's like Catholics and Protestants, but it's like one is like ultra violent and one is okay. But even okay will join the ultra violent and eventually. That's why I want Islam to go away and be totally destroyed.
In the 7th century, a new faith was unveiled to the people of Mecca, a new religion based on allegiance to one God. They called it Islam, or submission to God. Its message was to reject polytheism and idolatry. The messenger was Prophet Muhammad. His followers spread the word across the Arabian Peninsula. They built a large community. They united in belief and practices. But after the Prophet left, his followers split. That bitter divide still remains. What was it about? Prophet Muhammad's successor. He did not leave behind an heir. He did not say who should lead the Islamic faith after him. So his followers fought, and two prominent camps emerged. One said the Prophet's bloodline should succeed him, a member of his own family should be the new leader or caliph. The other camp said that the Islamic community should choose a pious successor. And this debate was never resolved. And Islam split into two groups, the Shias and the Sunnis, united in their religion, divided in their views, also in their doctrine, rituals, law, and theology. Despite these differences, Shias and Sunnis lived in relative peace through most of their history. The distinctions were largely irrelevant. But starting the late 20th century, the schism deepened. It exploded into violence and bloodshed. Extreme brands of both sects began fighting for supremacy.
You know, remember how I said earlier that like one's moderate and one's violent? In the end, they both have violence on both sides. Right, they've all killed each other over and over across the centuries, because you know their whole religion is based on violence. They used to conquer people, take hostages, rape women, you know, abuse. Like the history of Bangladesh is every 40, 30 years they would go in there and invade. Right, rape and pillage every 40 years. How's that, man? You get born, you get to a certain age, next thing you know, they come in. Just as you're able to get back, you know, you rise up to be a nation. Oh, cut back down again. This is why the Crusades happened, man. This is why the Crusades happened, to stop these.
Because of Muslim aggression. Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't because like, oh, you know, we wanted to turn back, you know, attack the Muslims. No, it's because the Muslims kept attacking us. Right, in the West, they kept attacking people. They've been vile, unstoppable villains forever in the history of the world. Right, Islam and communism have killed hundreds of millions of people over the centuries, let alone just the last 600 years. Right, since the 14th century.
Both religious and political. Hello and welcome to Gravitas Plus. I'm Palki Sharma Upadhyay. On the 8th of October, Afghanistan witnessed a suicide bombing. A Shia mosque in the city of Kunduz was attacked. 100 worshippers were killed and injured. Who was behind it? The Islamic State of Khorasan Province, ISKP, a terror outfit that endorses an extreme form of Sunni Islam. On the 15th of October, another Shia...
Sunni, right? So that's one band,
Right.
one side, and then Shia, which is the other side, but they both blow each other up, right? For political power.
mosque was targeted. This time in Kandahar, dozens were killed, hundreds were injured. It was absolute carnage. These attacks have sparked fears of sectarian violence, of the resurgence of an old conflict driven by an ancient religious divide that has played out in West Asia for decades. The Shia-Sunni divide has fueled a civil war in Syria, spurred violence that fractured Iraq, and widened fissures in a number of Islamic countries, barring...
So Muslims fighting Muslims has been going on for centuries, right? Now that is that, you know, because of our tolerance, they brought this into the West, and they're killing Muslims in the West. If you leave Islam, you get killed, you get beaten, right? This is why we need the Crusades again. To be honest, that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, people might go, "Oh, you're no, fuck you." We need to get rid of them again because out of our countries, right? Push them back out of the countries again, because to be honest, this is we're just basically inviting spy networks, what do you call it, religious sects in our countries, who will basically become domestic terrorists, like it happened in Bondi Beach just last year, all right, late last year, actually Christmas time last year in Australian Beach in the daytime, right?
Okay, I was gonna say, did you know that the Templar Knights were actually originally formed to protect pilgrims on their way to the Holy Land?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but over the years they've twisted the history, right? Oh, they were the bad guys. Yeah, the Crusades was the bad guys, right? Okay, that's right. This is why the Crusades happened, yeah, and why Dracula is a hero in his homeland to this day. Yes, right. Vlad the Impaler showed them that you come here, we're going to do worse to you than I'm doing to my people, and it was done as a way to show that the only way to show these people to stop is by being the more powerful aggressor, which is why I like Trump. Trump is like, yeah, they can say what the hell they want, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to show them, and he did.
Well,
what was that guy that he took out right at the airport? What was his name? Casey, do you remember he took out because he was like going, "Oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that," and he just took him out. You know,
I don't remember.
In Lebanon and Yemen, to name a few. So it's important that we understand what this divide is, how much of it is about religion, and how much of it is driven by politics. We'll start with history. 632 AD, Prophet Muhammad's passing. It split the Islamic community. They fought over his successor. One group wanted to elect the Prophet's companion, Abu Bakr, as the first caliph or the leader of the Islamic community. The other group favored Ali ibn Abi Talib, the Prophet's cousin and son-in-law. Now, those in favor of Abu Bakr call themselves Sunnis, followers of the Sunnah. They derive their name from the phrase Ahl al-Sunnah, meaning people of the tradition. Tradition in this case referred to practices based on what the Prophet said, did, condoned, or condemned. The Sunnis were a group of prominent early followers of Islam. They wanted a leader to be elected from the community, not the family. They believed in consensus, not lineage or dynasty. The Shias...
So they're like Democrats, right? But the other guys were like, "Oh, we want the royal family shit," right? And I don't mean by Democrats, but like Democrats, I mean they want a democracy, right? Lead amongst from their own thing. But in the end, they're just two things, two sides of the same coin, right? Islam,
on the other hand, believed that succession should be based on the bloodline. So they favored the Prophet's son-in-law, Ali, to be the first caliph. They formed a movement known as Shiat Ali, meaning the party of Ali or the partisans of Ali. They believed that Ali and his descendants were part of a divine order and only they could guide Islam and the Muslim community righteously. But the Shias were in relative minorities, so the Sunni majority won. They chose Abu Bakr as the first caliph, Umar ibn al-Khattab as the second caliph, and Uthman ibn Affan as the third caliph. All three of them were trusted companions of the Prophet. So far, the Sunnis triumphed politically, but the Shia...
The dude who was like a crazy schizophrenic nutcase who went to the cave and wrote down stories that he had heard from, from Christians, from, talking and preaching in the streets, and Jews that he met, and Zoroastrians that he had met, at that time. And he put together this thing called the Quran and made up his own bullshit to add to it. Like he's got a thing there where you got to, you got to go to wipe your ass with. If you're in the desert, find a rock to wipe your ass with, because wiping your, butt with a paper or something else like a leaf, right, or whatever, or cloth, is haram. It's sinful. So you got to wipe it with a stone. Yeah, and it's in there, right? It's actually in their scripture. Yeah, dude, even rough paper, cheap toilet paper can be a bit painful. But no, he wanted to use rocks. You guys got to use rocks. Got to use pebbles, right, to wipe it out. It's like, oh my jeez, yeah. But yeah,
Shias continue to consider the Prophet's descendants as the true caliphs. They kept pushing for them. Eventually, Ali was elected the fourth caliph. He was the Prophet's cousin and son-in-law, but his rule was short-lived. Ali was assassinated by his enemies.
How's that? The first assassination within a couple of years. But talk about freaking Islam being bloodthirsty bastards, right? Islamists, they killed the other dude straight away. Isn't this like supposed to be like the holy family, like the Prophet's holy family, the kind of like the king situation, and his cousin just got murdered. Yeah, they took him out, babe.
Sons Hassan and Hussein wanted to take his place, but they were denied the right of accession. This led to a power struggle. At stake was not just the Prophet's legacy, but the entire caliphate, which now stretched beyond the Arabian Peninsula. There was also a lot of money involved in the form of taxes and tributes paid by various tribes under the banner of Islam. Now, this combination of money and power led to a civil war. The result of the war...
How soon did the Civil War come? Dude, these guys just like I keep saying, these guys are bloodthirsty bastards, right? It's a political ideology based around religion, right? But involves a lot of money. That's what I mean. Their religion is pushed by money, right? When Indians in Fiji become Muslims, it's because they went for the money. That's why you'll see all over the world charity. They have to give out 10% for charity. They have to do it. It's part of the thing. I know Christians, you pay a tithe. You don't have to, but as a Muslim, you have to, right? Because that money goes to pushing their religion everywhere.
Or was this? The caliphate was passed to the Umayyad dynasty in Damascus. Then it went to the Abbasid dynasty based in Baghdad. The Shias rejected the authority of both these Sunni rulers. They kept fighting. In 681 AD, when the Umayyads were in power, Ali's son Hussein led a group of 72 followers from Mecca to Karbala, which is now in Iraq. He went there to confront the corrupt Caliph Yazid, but he was killed by a massive army of the Umayyads. He was decapitated and brought to Damascus as a tribute to the Caliph. The Sunnis thought this would end all claims of leadership by the Shias, but their actions had the opposite effect. Hussein's martyrdom became a watershed moment for the Shias, a defining moral story of their tradition, a hallmark.
So they're saying he got a little head.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, he got a little head, all right, as a gift from, But these guys, this is why I say it's a religion of bloodshed and butchery. Islam is it's just full of it, bro. From the moment it started, they were assassinating, they were fighting amongst themselves, they were killing, and they still do it to this day, as we all know. We can just look at freaking Bondi Beach being the latest in the West, but Nigeria, Sudan, they basically raped girls, taken them hostage, like a couple of years ago, they just butcher Christians left, right, and center. You know.
So if there's a full-on war in Iran, do you think all the pushing for Sharia law over here is going to stop?
This is the thing, right? And I thought about this today. So the revolution in Iran right now is against Islam, nothing else, but against Islam. So all the people that are fighting, they want to put an end to the Islamic state, which has been oppressing them and has been carrying out and funding terrorism around the world, right? Against anyone who speaks out against the Islamic State. So the Iranian, right? So bit of a segue. The first time I ever met an actual Iranian in New Zealand, or ever in my life, was about 2008. I moved from one job to another job, and there was an Iranian person there, right? And he said to me, we were just drinking, right? And he said to me, dude, there's only one thing I want in this world before I die, and that is to kill a Jew. He said, if I can kill a Jew, I will go to paradise happy. And I'm like stunned. I'm speechless because I've never had such vile thing spoken by any race that I've come in contact with. In my, at that point, I was, what's that? 2008. So I think 20 years ago, right? Give or take. And I was like, and I learned that back then that these people are vile human beings from with this Islamic background, right? This is what they preach. They preach hatred from childhood. How does this 20-something-year-old dude have this much hate in his heart for a people that he's probably never met or known or come in contact with, yet he basically is taught from childhood? And the same is the same that is taught to Palestinian children to hate Israelis, who they have no idea who they are, but the Islamic State of Iran basically pushed them there and used them as a cannon fodder against Israel, right? But these guys hate themselves as well, right? The Sunni and Shiites, they hate each other. Both Muslims, both Islamists, both hate each other, right? The moderates say, oh, we're the Sunnis, we are moderate. Like, when it comes down to it, they're like black people. They'll stick together, bro, right? Against Whitey or against anybody else. It's the same thing. It happens all the time. Right, yeah. It's tribalism, bro. Tribalism, religion unites them. Maybe they hate each other now, but tomorrow when you're going against them, when they see you as the one opposing them, yeah, they'll stick together and they'll come for you. And we're seeing that. I mean, like friggin' Australia, bro. Right? They just gun down people in the middle of the day. Muslims.
Of their identity and existence. Today it is commemorated each year as Ashura, the 10th day of Muharram, and the most solemn date in the Shia calendar. They mark it with collective atonement and self.
This is what Iranians are trying to get rid of in their revolution. These people, right? These horror things, right? Because they see themselves as martyrs, fighting the great Satan of the West. America, the great Satan. But they, I've got a little video we're going to show you where their children out here, they send their children to live it up out here.
Flagellation. The Battle of Karbala had a lasting impact. It sharpened the divisions between Shias and Sunnis. The Sunni caliphs worried that the Shias would use it to capture public imagination and topple monarchs. So they persecuted and marginalized the Shias further, portrayed them as heretics and apostates. Then in the 16th century came.
So it's like they find these suckers to go and do all the dirty work for them. They never. You ever notice the people that are in charge of that stuff never put themselves out there to do that? It's always you have to find some like uneducated person to do it.
But that's why you teach them when they're children that this is the way to get into heaven. That everybody else doesn't matter. Their lives don't matter. Their beliefs don't matter. Only Islam matters. Your 72 goats matter when you die, right? Those virgin goats, they'll be there for you, right? And so, Kesa says here, it's like the Hetfields and McCoys. They fought each other for so long, it eventually got to, why do you hate this guy? Got answers with, because he's a Hetfield, or vice versa. Yeah, similar to that. But like, at the end of the day, these guys will join together to fight against us, all right? So, and this is why I worry so much about the influence of Islam and Muslims in the West. Yeah, and Kesa says to your remark there, it's Tim, it's called useful idiots. Yeah, there's lots of them. You know, they will give, like, Palestinian mothers will say, "I'm happy that my son will go die against the Jews," right? Because they have nothing in their life but hatred. They don't want to live a good life, be a good community person. No, they want to advance their religious belief, and this is why we cannot, coexist with this religion, this ideology, political movement, because it's not religion; it's a political movement, right? With clothings of religion, because they fight each other, bro. Like they butcher and murder each other. They drop, they've let go, suicide bombs on each other, right? So we're just nobody compared to that. Because if they're willing to kill each other who are Muslims, well, why would we matter to them?
The first major Shia dynasty, the Safavid dynasty, transformed Iran from a Sunni center to a Shia stronghold in West Asia. It made Shia Islam the state religion and fought with the Ottomans, the seat of the Sunni Caliphate. From this power struggle emerged a series of Shia and Sunni dynasties. They spread all over the world, from Europe to the Indian subcontinent, from Central Asia to Africa. With the onset of European colonialism, these dynasties faded, but the Shia-Sunni differences did not. By the 20th century, their empires took the shape of countries. Their legacies resulted in demographic segmentation. Most Shia Muslims settled in Iran, Iraq, Azerbaijan, Bahrain, Lebanon, with small communities in India and Pakistan. Today, they comprise 10% of the global Muslim population. The remaining 90% are Sunni Muslims. They're settled.
Imagine that, man. 10% of the world's Muslims create the most violence in the world. They're the ones who spread, destruction around the world.
In West Asia, in Central Asia, South Asia, Africa, Sunni Muslims form an overwhelming majority in more than 40 countries. For much of their modern history, the Shia-Sunni divide was largely irrelevant in these countries. The differences were limited to their beliefs and practices. Like when they pray, Shias stand with their hands at their sides, Sunnis put their hands on their stomachs. Sunni clerics wear white robes. Shia clerics wear black robes.
And that's what you got to worry about, is the black robes, right? If you see any black robe people around you, you got to know these guys are the ones that will hate you and will chop your head off first, right? The black cloak ones.
Shias often venerate clerics as saints. Sunnis do not. Shias believe in self-flagellation. Sunnis do not. Rarely did these differences spill into conflicts. Shias and Sunnis lived in mixed neighborhoods. They also frequently intermarried. But in the last few decades, the divide has deepened, especially after 1979, when an Islamic revolution took place in Iran and a new brand of Shia Islam emerged. It clashed with the Sunni conservatives of Saudi Arabia. Both theocracies began fighting for religious and political control. Sunnis and Shias inadvertently got sucked into this power struggle. But interestingly, the Saudis and the Iranians have never really declared war on each other. Instead, they fight in.
And this is why the halting of, Trump, President Trump and the allies to go into attack Iran, which the Iranian people want, have been crying for about a month now, right? Since December. But they can't, because the Saudis are going, dude, if you go and attack, they're going to attack us, and we're part of the same freaking religion. So you can't, you can't kill our brothers, our religious brothers, right? Because then the other ones who hate us will turn on us. This is what happens when you
I tell them to F off.
Yeah, well,
that happens.
Yeah, when this is about diplomacy, right? because then they'll turn on you. They'll all turn on you, right? There's the problem about this thing that the Western idiots don't understand is that Islam, they are together no matter what when you attack them, right? And so, it's just always the way, man. And I think Westerners are so dumb, they don't understand that these people are united with religion, no matter how much they hate each other, how much they kill each other. But when you attack them, they see that you're attacking their own family members, so they'll turn on you. And this is what this is what's been halting, like I said, halting the US from going all out against Iran to help the Iranian people, sadly.
Indirectly, they fight proxy wars. They support opposing sides in other countries.
So let me just go back a bit here so we get this better.
Wars. They support
back about that one.
But interestingly, the Saudis and the Iranians have never really declared war on each other. Instead, they fight indirectly. They fight proxy wars. They support opposing sides in other conflicts. We've seen this during the war in Iraq, the civil war in Syria, the civil war in Yemen, the uprising in Bahrain, the political unrest in Lebanon. All of this is said to be a result of the rivalry between Saudi Arabia and Iran.
So one Muslim country, another Muslim country, using proxies to fight on all these other countries against their others, right? Sunnis, Shia fighting Sunnis and Shias here, right? War's been going for about a decade here. Syria just got taken out, and now it's full of Islamists from here, and they've been killing people on the like just butchering them, bro. Farmers, like just dude farming. I saw a video of this guy just farming behind his cow, or his bull pulling his friggin' what is that called? Dividing the soil, yoke. That's what you put on the neck of the bulls. But yeah, just he's got farming, and this dude just comes and shoots him. Why? Because he's not his religion, his side of the religion, right? He's not Shia. He's Sunni, so he's part of this. So boom, he's dead now. And like I'm talking about, these like tens of thousands of people, bro. Yemen, hundreds of thousands of people. Bahrain, tens of thousands. Lebanon, tens of thousands. Then you go into Africa, right? Hundreds of thousands of people.
Sunni and a Shia power, both amping up sectarianism to serve their interests. What does this tell you? That the Shia-Sunni divide today is as much about religion as it is about politics. Yes, it may have stemmed from a 7th century religious dispute, but that dispute is not primarily driven by faith. It's driven by a desire for power, resources, and control.
I was going to talk about Australia today, but since we're talking about this and we brought up the Crusades, we're going to talk about the Crusades. Goldie Gamari, who is a Canadian Iranian, not religious, right? Anti-Muslim hardcore, who's also got death threats from Iranians, pro-Islam Iranians. She put out this video, and yeah. So by the way, guys, if you want to know what's going on in Iran, updates daily and stuff, do give Goldie a follow. Also, Atheist Republic. I've been a member of that for almost like 3 years now. Atheist Republic's another one that covers Iran because they're both, run by Iranians. One's American Iranian, the other's and Goldie's Canadian. So here she says, "Stop apologizing for the Crusades," and I think it's about time we stop apologizing for the Crusades. The Crusades was the greatest thing to save the West from Islam, and we need it again. But I think the best way to do is just like don't tolerate them and don't let them get a foothold in your country.
I have a message to
because the more people Islamists are in your country, that more danger you'll be under. Ask Australians. Problems I worry for being in New Zealand too, because we are getting a lot. A lot of the ones we're getting is from Fiji Indians who are who are Muslims from Fiji, who have no idea about the bullshit that's in the Middle East that has been taught to hate people. So when they get over here, they get radicalized by people from the Middle East visiting to preach in these mosques. There's 2 mosques in one place right now, and huge mosque in Christchurch, which was a couple of years ago in 2020 was shot up because, from my understanding, is that there was preachers coming there from the Middle East and Europe to radicalize the locals, which kind of like meant that dude, who I don't agree with, but he went down, at all, because it was terror attack. But he's Australian, came over here and got hold of criminal guns and shot up the place. So if you look it up, it's like Christchurch mosque shootings around 2020. By the way, our country paid up around $5 million to those people who were like injured or weren't even injured, to their families, housing, clothing, benefits. And one thing I forgot to ask, I was going to ask Grok, right? Do Muslim countries pay for for foreigners being killed in the country? Foreigners killed by terrorism in their country, with what's it, benefits, I guess, pay for parents who kill the country, benefits, etc. Let's see what it says while we listen to Goldie. And by the way, do follow Goldie's channel. She's amazing. As well as Atheist Republic. Let me get the link for that as well. While Goldie tells you to stop apologizing for the Crusades.
I have a message to all the white people out there who are watching my videos, specifically those who can trace their lineage back to the Crusades. First of all, I can't even believe that this needs to be said. But given some of the comments I'm seeing under my videos and posts on social media, I have now realized how much you have been lied to about your own history. Stop apologizing for the Crusades. Yeah, I said that. Stop apologizing for the Crusades. I mean, what exactly did you think happened that led to the Crusades? Do you just think that, I don't know, everyone was living peacefully and then all of a sudden one day random white Christian people woke up and decided to go murder Muslims? Is that what you think happened? The Crusades were a response to Arab Muslim colonizers trying to invade Europe. The Crusades were literally a response to jihad. Do you forget what happened to Spain? Do you not recall how Spain was conquered by the Arab Muslim invaders for 700 years before the Spaniards and the Christians were able to fight back and reclaim Spain? The only reason that you're not speaking Arabic and your women aren't wearing burqas is literally because of the Crusades. How do you think the Arab Muslim invaders conquered Persia, conquered the Persian Empire, and forced everyone to convert to Islam?
Well, if Muslims can call for a jihad or whatever, I think we over here can call for a crusade.
Yeah, but they call for jihad all the time, dude.
Yeah, I know, and we should call for a crusade all the time.
Yeah,
but then you're racist. No, if you're going to call for that, we're going to respond with a crusade.
Yeah, but if we call for that, we're racist, bro.
Yeah, well,
but if they call for it, then they're following. Yeah, but if they call for jihad, then they're just being religious, right? But if we call for crusade, we're being racist towards them.
I say we should consider the same thing. We should say, like, well, you know what? Crusade is part of my religion. I'm being religious, and I'm calling for a crusade.
Also, I think that we should just cancel all visas to future visas to people from the Middle East and anyone with Muslim background, following religion. And we should deport every illegal instantly. Yeah.
You think they came with pamphlets and brochures? What, do you think they just went around knocking peacefully on doors? They came with violence, they came with bloodshed, they came with beheadings, they came with rape. They murdered everyone and anyone who didn't convert to Islam. They burned libraries. They destroyed temples. They even forced us to speak Arabic for 200 years until we were able to secretly revive our language, Persian. Did you know that we Iranians have been fighting back against the Arab Muslim colonizers for the last 1400 years, and we are still trying to decolonize from that invader colonial mindset and ideology? Do you see this man? That's not a crusader. He's an Iranian. This is Babak Khorramdin. He's an Iranian revolutionary leader from the early 800s. He was fighting the Arab Muslim colonizers who had invaded Persia 150 years ago, and he was trying to free Persia from the jihadis. Unfortunately, at the age of 40, he was captured by the Arabs, and he was pretty much torn apart limb from limb. And yet, you know what we Iranians do? We celebrate him. Babak Khorramdin is one of the most important Iranian figures in our history. Why? Because he was fighting the Arab Muslim invaders who had invaded Persia 150 years ago. We don't apologize. We don't apologize. We don't justify. We don't make excuses. In fact, we're still fighting. We are still fighting to overthrow the Arab Muslim invaders and to reclaim our country from the Islamic dictatorship. So we have been fighting for 1400 years. Unfortunately, unlike you white people, we still have not been successful. If you need more convincing that the Crusades were a good thing and that the Crusades actually saved Europe from the Arab Muslim invaders, here is a 5-minute video from Dr. Bill Warner. Pay attention because this is kind of important.
Whenever you're dealing with an apologist for Islam or even a Muslim and you bring up jihad, almost immediately they kick back to you. Well, what about those terrible crusades? Why, they're the moral justification for jihad. I mean, we're just as bad as they are, so let's not talk about jihad, okay? Let's talk about the crusades. Well, what I would like to talk about here are facts. And it turns out I sat down and put together some work and I created a database of some 548 battles that Islam fought, jihad battles against classical civilization. And these aren't even all the battles. It really doesn't say much about Africa and India, Afghanistan and all that. It's primarily the battles against the classical civilization of Rome and Greece. So 548 battles is a lot, and it's too much to even comprehend. So I created something which I call a dynamic battle map, in which you have a display of the Mediterranean, and a white dot means that this 20-year period, that's a new battle. So every time the screen changes, it's 20-year period. They then, the colors white turn to red, so you can see a history. This may seem a little confusing, but I think when you see it, you'll know exactly what I mean. And here it starts. Islam burst out of the Arabian Peninsula and immediately starts attacking the Middle East. And notice
in 20-year period, bro. I told you there's a freaking religion of violence. That 20 years, bro.
Yeah, all over the place, man.
They just went out on a rampage. Yeah, in the name of Allah. In my language, I call it in the name of Satan, because that's what it is. They believe in Satan. It's a religion of the devil.
that it doesn't take long until they're crossing the.
Oh, look, 40 years later, man, here we go, advancing that religion hard out, right? The devil's religion hard out and killing so many people already.
Do you see here? Do you see how within, the span of just a couple of decades, Iran became conquered, right? That's jihad. And like I said, they didn't come with flowers and pamphlets. They came with violence, death, destruction, rape, and forced conversions.
Mediterranean and attacking southern France and Spain. Notice something here. Most people think of Islam, they think of Arabs, they think of Arabs, they think of desert. And yet here we see that Islam is projecting power throughout the Mediterranean.
Also, pay attention. Do you see Spain? At this point, Spain has been conquered by the Arab Muslim invaders. And again, every single red dot here, every single red dot is an instance of jihad. That is a battle that was initiated by the Arab Muslim invaders. Okay, so pay attention to these dots because we're then going to compare these dots of jihad versus the dots of the Crusades.
Notice how the little islands of the Mediterranean are getting hammered. The Navy of Islam would attack coastal towns, kill, rob, rape, and then take slaves.
See, then here comes white Westerners, right? And going, yeah, this is the religion I want to follow. But, oh, no, actually, white people were the bad people for slavery. White people are bad for having slaves, you know? Yeah. Oh, but like, wait, hold on. This is 900 years ago, bro.
Well,
This was
the
900
Arab
years
slave trade is still going today.
Yeah, Libya, bro. They're selling black people in Libya right now. And children, little
Not a
kids.
word about that, huh?
Nah, bro. Because it's always the whitey that's bad, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So this whole battle map, as it unfolds, you're seeing slaves being taken. Over 1 million slaves were taken out of Europe into the Islamic.
1 million people just taken as hostages, slaves. What about all the millions that were killed? What are the millions that were raped? Right? I want this crusades again to get Muslims out of the West, bro. I want the West to be free again. Yeah.
World.
Problem is, well, we're racist for saying that. Yeah, but then get the fuck out of the country.
Well,
Go back to your
Islam or Muslim. Sorry.
Yeah, go back out here. Go back to your freaking Muslim countries, right? You know, because it's Islam, bro. It's all the same thing. See, the Sunnis, like they said, 80 to 90% are Sunni, right? Moderates. They don't believe in all this, but they will attack them anyway. You know, given chance. They've been fighting for freaking centuries, right, against each other. Then they'll join against it together to go against us, like they've done ever since. You know, gosh.
That's something you don't.
Let me just go back to this. Kessa says, not really related, but if you look at a picture of Salman Rushdie before the eye patch or do a side-by-side comparison to late director Stanley Kubrick, you'll see, you'll swear they're doppelgangers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was trying to actually read his book, The Satanic Verses, which is what got him, you know, which is why they tried to assassinate him and also took his eye. Right? Because he was on stage talking and they took his eye. I've been trying to like listen to audio, but it's just not my thing, man. I keep falling asleep through it. It's just not my kind of thing. But yeah, I do recommend reading it. It'll probably be easier reading it than listening to it. I found it too monotone, the audio book.
I was gonna say.
Wait, are you testing me? Hold on, Tim. Are you testing me, KSS?
Do it.
All right, we'll play this, and then I'll go find this thing. No, actually, no. I know you're trying to make sure that I fall into that trap of actually showing it. You know, I'm gonna leave that.
Think about much, but it's absolutely true. There were over two.
I will not be detracted from my my stream here. Thank you very much, KSS. My good friend KSS.
Over 1 million slaves were taken out of Europe into the Islamic world. That's something you don't think about much, but it's absolutely true.
Tim, did you have something to say?
Yes, I was gonna say that people when they say that they do realize that Muslims or Islam is not a ethnic group of people or a race, as it were.
Yeah,
it's a religion.
Yeah, a political movement. Yeah.
Yeah, a political movement even, but it's not a race of people.
Right. Because they're from Africa, they're from from Iraq, from Iran, Afghanistan, Saudi Arabia, Yemen, Oman, right? Turkey, Georgia, right? Aman, Oman, Algeria. So they're not a race of people. So they can't say, if you're saying Islam must go, well, we're not being racist. We're just telling you that your religion doesn't belong in the West. Your belief system should not be in the West. All right.
There were over 200 battles fought in Spain alone. And we also see, however, on the East Coast in Turkey, that Islam is trying to break into Europe. Now, what's going to happen is in Spain, this ongoing fight that lasted for 400 years is
400 years of raping, pillaging, taking hostages, killing people, killing children, killing elderly for 400 years. And then they go, oh, but the Crusades. Yeah, because of that 400 years or more that you guys were, with Islam was trying, you Muslims were doing all this to us, right? To Westerners. The first enemy of America was Muslims. They were called the Barbary Pirates.
the Christians are going to push back the Muslims. But now then what has happened over in the East is that Constantinople has fallen, and now then Eastern Europe is getting hammered. The jihad now comes to Eastern Europe. It's pushed out now of Spain. Northern Africa is now completely Islamic. The Middle East is completely Islamic. This is all jihad, relentless jihad. And why is it?
Kesa says the Satanic Verses wasn't a light read. I read it 25 plus years ago, but I didn't get why Cat Stevens left his peace train singing Ways and went all anti-Salman Rushdie. Yeah, because I guess, they all, it starts off with, oh yeah, because it's a peaceful religion. They buy into that shit because none of them know about the history of it. None of them know what's written in there because they just get told shit. The first time I actually met a Muslim was at my mum's house back in the 90s. And because I'd read the Bible, I knew what was in the Bible, right? So I was telling them, what the Bible said about Genesis and stuff, how, and I said how, Adam had ate, Eve had offered up the apple to Adam and Adam had ate it. And their response was, oh, see that apple that got, that the reason we have this voice box in males and not in females, the Adam's apple, that's from the apple being stuck in there. And they were surprised. These two friggin' people in their 40s, males, who were actually here in New Zealand, praying over the meat so it could go to Iran and to the Middle East, because so then it will be like halal, so they could eat it, right? The Muslims could eat it because you said it, suddenly it became holy meat that's edible by Muslims because you said some fucking prayers over it, right? And then and these 40-year-olds, and I'm like a 90s, I would be about 20s, right? Maybe actually 22, 23, yeah. And these guys were twice my age, and they didn't even know what I was telling them that I read in the Bible, because they've taken things out of the Bible and twisted it, right? They've mixed it up with Judaism, with is it Talmud? Oh, the Torah, right? Sorry, the Torah, which is the Old Testament, and they've mixed in with other religions. Even Hinduism is probably, actually, I think Hinduism is mixed in there because they talk about angels and demons and all this shit in those weird ways. And they make it's like a book of fantasies mixed in with religious ideas and concepts from other religions. That's the Quran. That's why these guys always fight each other, because they can't tell what's right and what's wrong. And here's the thing. See, the West lives by the 10 Commandments. Whether you want to believe it or not, the West is based around, lawfully, the laws of the West are around the 10 Commandments, right? One of the commandments in the Bible, which we all in the West live under, is do not lie or give false witness. In Islam, you're allowed to. And there's so many different rules on how you can lie. That alone is opposite to Western culture. The fact that you can lie against your neighbor, which is against the Bible, which is against our laws, that you don't lie. If you're in court, you don't lie because that's bearing false witness. That's okay in Islam. That's okay. It's okay for you to lie on someone, right? I mean, how vile is that? That your religion teaches you just that, right? That you can lie. I mean, that's disgusting, bro. Like you two are standing before the court and goes, oh yeah, he did this to my girl. And like, what? Yeah, I'm Muslim. I can say that. It's all right for me to say that.
It's so relentless. Well, Muhammad was relentless in his jihad. And these people are good students of Islam, and so it's against the kafir, on and on. It was traditional that when the Sultan came to power, the brand new Sultan, he would immediately try to launch new wars because he was going to be noted in his Islamic history as to how well he fought against the kafir. So that's what the jihad looked like over that time period, 548 battles. But remember, when you bring up jihad, people want to bring up the Crusades. So I also prepared a dynamic battle map of all the offensive raids of the Crusaders. Let's watch it and make a comparison. And so it begins. The Crusades enter into Turkey and the Middle East. Battles go on, but aren't there far fewer than you thought there might be? And here we go. The last battles are...
That's it. Do you see these dots here? That is every single crusade. You can't even you can't even compare. Like, there's literally no comparison between Islamic jihad and the Crusades.
Exactly, KSS. It's never an apple. It's just a fruit of knowledge. Yeah. But they said it was an apple, bro. Because we kind of say, look, the apple is like, it's what is that called? Like when you like say something and over time it becomes true, but it's really not. Tim?
Yes, it's just like the one person who was supposed to go and prophesied somewhere was swallowed by a fish, not a whale. Jonah.
Yeah, it was a giant fish. Yeah, not Jonah.
Yeah, and I guess it was the fruit of knowledge, but it's usually people usually see an apple.
Yeah. I wonder if it was a banana. Maybe it was a banana.
Maybe it was a pomegranate.
I reckon it was a banana because only kings eat bananas, and I'm a monkey king, so it's my fruit. It's healthy. It's like bananas are like the avocados, right? Like it's just green and not so tasty, but like which avocados are, but like bananas are full of sugar and healthy, potassium, good stuff. But look, this is the crusade. And this, my dear friends, is jihad. Crusade. Jihad. Bring back the Crusades. And I hope that taking out Iran will put an end to the Shiites' bloodthirst of centuries. Since the 400s, they have been killing, maiming, raping, taking slaves, abusing, violating, raping the West. And each other, by the way, but mainly the West. I'm just going to pause here for a minute and I want to show you something that I just came across on X. Like I said, that kind of gives you the point to how they're doing it to each other. Check this out. So this lady, right? Tunisian, right? From Tunisia. So Azad al-Salam writes, and I'll actually put the link in the chat so you guys can, later on want to share it, go share it. So Kessis writes here before I go on. I think the apple came from a mistranslation from Latin with the word for apple and evil being the same word. It's been a while since I read it. Okay. Yeah. So it's the fruit of knowledge, right? Fruit from the tree of knowledge. And then there's also there's like a fruit from the tree of life as well. I wonder what would happen like if you're taking the fruit of life. It'll be interesting. Okay, so a pro-Hamas was killed by a pro-Hamas in Germany. See what I said? They kill people over, in Europe. These people, these Muslims, right? Terrorism outside their own countries, right? They can't keep it to themselves. They got to go kill everybody else elsewhere. So 31-year-old Tunisian girl who had celebrated October 7 attack on Israel was found dead in an apartment in Germany. The alleged perpetrator, 32-year-old Palestinian, is said to have recently entered Germany illegally. Like I said, they're not there to live a good life. They're there to carry out violence. They don't come to the West to enjoy life. They're here to preach. They spread their venomous, cancerous, violent religion, and then carry out so others can carry out the violence, right? Just like in Australia with Bondi Beach, domestic terrorism. Actually, I had something else before. I think in line with that would be quite interesting. Let me see if I can just bring it up. Wait. I think I'll be able to get it by going to Towel, the traveling clat page. I saw him like it's on his shorts, right? So it was interesting how he baited these two Islamists living in Germany, bro. Since we're talking about Germany, right? Where he there we go. All right, let me switch out of this and go into Traveling Clat's channel. Tal Olan. He's an Iraqi Jew, if I remember right. And this one here, masterclass on getting jihadists arrested in Germany. As you go, we hate Jewish. Oh. Hey, stop. You need to.
The Taliban.
Okay, so wait, hold on. That's not it.
They just murdered 50.
My bad. It jumped ahead on a. It's this one. We hate Jewish people. All right, stop. So, as you guys may or may not know, anything anti-Israeli Jewish in Germany is illegal. Right? And so, if you're out here as a Muslim, wait, do I? No, I don't see him. I thought like Alesmet was down chat. All right. So, if you are doing anything anti-Jewish, because as you know, Hitler killed 6 million Jews, and that's a fact. That's not a joke. That's not a freaking lie. That's not conspiracy bullshit, right? My grandfather on my dad's side actually fought in that war. So yeah, he was a minesweeper in the English Channel. His legs froze. He got frostbite, went to Russia, was hospitalized in Russia. And then once he was fixed, he was returned back to England. And only recently, about a decade ago, was acknowledged for his bravery in the war, right? His part in the war. So if you do this, right, in Germany, if you start promoting Jewish hate in Germany, those people are, there's laws against that because Germans, are very, I guess, I don't know what the right word is, but get upset when you start letting people get away with saying nasty shit like this. So Tal here, right, cooks these guys, like really cooks these guys.
We want those Jewish people. We will kill tomorrow 100 Jewish people. Sieg Heil. Hi Hitler. Hi Hitler. We hate Jewish people. We want those Jewish people. We will kill tomorrow 100 Jewish people. Sweet Zionist.
I'm pro-Palestine, bro. I love Palestine.
No, you don't.
Well, wallahi, look. Allahu Akbar. I'm just trying to catch a Zionist, like the soldiers when they come here. I'm just trying to catch them and expose them. If I want to be very effective to the Zionists, what you have to do is you have to be smart like them. I printed this stupid jacket. I printed this stupid flag. I just talk to them and I get them to say stupid stuff. And then I post their face and I report them all over the world.
Yeah, nice. Speed test.
Okay.
When you eat with your hands,
Yeah?
left hand or right hand?
Right hand, of course. Brother, left hand is for, for the tizi. Where are you guys from, brothers?
Germany.
So wait, you guys said some interesting shit. You guys planning on killing some Jewish people?
I speak now for my health. I don't hate Jewish people. But Zionists. I hate Zionists.
Yeah, bro, I think I want to come to Europe and just hit some Zionists. It's a lot easier to do that stuff in Europe.
You're welcome, bro. German police are from Zionists.
Really? So if you guys did something to like Zionists, they would arrest you or something?
Yeah, of course, directly.
No way.
This one
Yeah.
is 5,000 euros, 6,000 bucks.
Just for doing the Hitler salute? But Hitler was a good guy.
He was the best. When I say Hitler does not kill 6 million people, they could be not arrest, but I got problems.
But if you do what you did, what was it that you did? Did they take you to jail?
Money or jail?
Yeah, no, thank you.
But you cannot, when you have
Yeah, you're starting to understand what happened here, right? Listen. Yeah, Caleb, I'm gonna you so hard. You're gonna have a new asshole. You are the two most Muslims I've ever spoken to. I'm gonna send that to German police. You're gonna pay 5,000 euros, motherfucker. I'm gonna get you in jail. Do not fuck with talk. That's all I gotta say. It's over.
we hate Jewish people.
You know what the strangest thing about that is? There are people on the right side of the political spectrum here in America that kind of talk like this. I've heard that before. I've heard them say, "Oh, we don't hate Jewish people. We just hate Zionists."
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God, you guys are so unaware of yourselves.
Yeah, it's worse when you listen to them, man. Yeah, you're right.
So there are conservatives over here that believe the same thing as somebody that's who's radicalized in Islam. About Jewish
Islam and Nazism is the same thing, bro. It's the same belief system, right?
Yeah. It's so funny though. But like the funny thing is there are people on the left that hate Jewish people, and they hate them for two different reasons. The right are very conspiratorial about it, and the people on the left, it's because of Palestine.
Yeah.
It's so weird. Like the further right, the further left you go.
Just like the Sunnis, bro, and the Shiites, the more they get into it, they're the most extreme violent people around. Yeah. That's what happens, man. It's like people don't realize it. That like when you start going down that track of hating people, you're just like the other side. They hate the other group. But I just thought Tal did a great job because that's two people, right? Just that he was able to get sorted because they don't belong in Germany. That sort of vile thing should be removed from the country. That sort of behavior. Problem is, they're happy to do that shit to as long as they know that you're on their side, and they can get away with it. But when they're caught, they're caught. And the problem is now when people do that sort of shit, you should go down hard on them. Like really, not go down on wrong phrase of words, but I mean bring the law down hard on them, right? Because look, this was a crusade. This was a jihad. All the violence done on Europe. And how did Europe respond? Just went to their house. Yeah, went to their backyard and said, yeah, we're going to fuck you right in your backyard. You came to all our backyards. We're going to go to yours and sort it. But so I will never apologize for the Crusades. I'm for the Crusades. Let's bring it back.
And why anyway would you? Because it's history. It happened. Deal with it. Get over it.
Yeah. They saved the world at that time of making the world an Islamic place. Just like the Allies, saved the world from becoming Nazis, right? By taking out Germany in World War II. So now's the time to take out Iran, to stop them from continuing funding of terrorism around the world. Just like that silly lady who, because, I was showing here before, that was just murdered, this week over in Germany by a Palestinian. Celebrated Tunisian Muslims celebrated the attack on Israel on the 7th. Then a Palestinian illegally, 32-year-old, comes over and kills her. Why? Because she's just a freaking another woman, bruh. She's there for the taking in Europe. He doesn't care if she's a Muslim or not. She doesn't care if she's an ally or not. She's just a female, and she's there to be, raped and butchered. Yeah. There she went lapping. There she ended up dying, right? And so pro-Hamas was killed by pro-Hamas, but in Germany. Yeah. It's like these people, bro. They're all freaking just lappers and role players, and when reality hits, they pay for it with their lives. But they want us to pay with our lives as well, because they're all pro-Islamists. They're pro-Islam. They're let them in. Tolerance. We can't keep them out. Open all the floodgates. In Spain right now, this week, 500,000 illegals were given citizenship. 500,000 people, bro. 500,000 people because of the leftist government. Let me see if I can bring it up. Okay. Spain, 500K illegals given status. Something like that. Maybe it'll come up. Yep. There we go. Before we move on with that one, but let me just bring this one in since it's on that topic. Look at them dance. Look at them dance. Catherine Deves from Australia says, these are the 500K illegal immigrants just granted Spanish citizenship. Make no mistake, they're hordes of barbarian invaders. Yes, they are. UK is now making noises about doing same. This is deliberate to destabilize the West. It is. And she's warning to Australia. Yeah, see this? African and Middle Eastern illegal Muslims. Allies with them, Muslims. Putting 500,000 Muslims in your country. Hello, domestic terrorism. Hello, rape of your children and women. Hello, violence in the street. Home invasions of your elderly. Knife crimes in the open. Gang violence. Yeah. Look, they're covering up because they know. Fucking monkeys, and I'm the monkey king, but fucking monkeys, bro. Animals, bro. Yeah? Trash. Look at their military gear too as well. Hey, well done. Well done, Spain. What's that, bro?
It's going to take them forever to get those people out once they start causing problems.
Bro. They are legal citizens now. These morons, instead of picking them up and throwing them out of the country because they're illegal, they've invited these terrorists into their country. And I'm telling you terrorists because, bro, that's what they are. Right? See, Allah is with them. They're not your Sunnis. These are your Shia, violent bastards from Sudan and Nigeria, right? Tunisia, Lebanon, Afghanistan. So yeah, well done, Spain. Just make sure that we gotta, like in New Zealand, Australia, we gotta make sure they don't get visas into our country, because now they hold Spanish visas, right? Spanish citizenship. And this is what people don't realize. outside of the country. So once you get you get a passport, you can travel elsewhere. So these motherfuckers in Spain just handed 500,000, 500,000 Muslims tickets to the rest of the world. All right, I should say passports. You got to pay for the tickets, but passports to the rest of the world. So they can go anywhere and do anything, but they're Spanish citizens. So when they go and attack, somebody here in New Zealand, oh, we're Spain. So a Spanish gentleman attacks someone, so Spain gets the blame. They don't tell them. Muslim from Africa attacked a Kiwi, right? No, it's a Spanish person. That's how they hide their nationality, right? Because now they're national of freaking, the countrymen of citizens of Spain. These animals, bro, right? Yeah, middle-aged man, like army age man, right? Look at them. I told you they're animals, bro. They behave like animals, right? Get in the car. Let's go get your citizenship, brah. Pop, pop, pop, pop. Right? Look, you're Muslims from Middle East. Yeah, Allah is with them. Tim.
So maybe if it's too late to stop them from getting into Spain, then maybe we should just prevent people from Spain from getting anywhere else.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Right? If your passport doesn't say born in Spain, right, but place of birth in Spain, then you ain't coming into my country. Right?
Well, I mean, that even if they are born in Spain, since they let all those people in, then people who are born in Spain shouldn't be able to travel anywhere else either.
That's actually a good idea. I'm with Trump on that. Remember, he said shithole countries. I'm not going to let people from shithole countries come into our thing. I'm thinking the same thing on this one, bro. Right? Bro, this is why I'm not a politician, because I'd be hardcore. Right? I'll be like, fuck this. Sorry, not today, Jose. You go back to Africa. Not today. Bring back the Crusades. But Spain, right? Spain, who was like pillaged, raped, and thing in the hundreds of millions, right? Are letting the same people in now. All that sacrifice their forebears made to free Spain from Islam, right? From Europe, right? From Islam, only 200 years ago, right? 1900. So what's that? 126 years ago, they let them all back in.
So that's what the jihad looked like over that time period, 548 battles. But remember, when you bring up jihad, people want to bring up the Crusades. So I also prepared a dynamic battle map of all the offensive raids of the Crusaders. Let's watch it and make a comparison. And so it begins. The Crusades enter into Turkey and the Middle East. Battles go on, but aren't there far fewer than you thought there might be? And here we go. The last battles.
That's it. Do you see these dots here? That is every single crusade. You can't even you can't even compare. Like, there's literally no comparison between Islamic jihad and the Crusades.
Were fought, and that is the end of the Crusades. So now then we can talk about some facts. Yes, there were Crusades, but notice they ended centuries ago, and jihad is being practiced today. Jihad has been with us for 1,400 years. There is no comparison between jihad and the Crusades, certainly not a moral comparison. And when you're looking at the Crusades, remember, in one sense, all of the Crusades were defensive wars. Why? Well, as we saw on the first jihad map, it was Islam that came out of Arabia and conquered the Middle East, a Christian Middle East. And so the Crusaders were trying to free their Christian brothers and sisters from jihad. So there's no moral comparison at all. The motivation of the Crusaders was to free Christians. The purpose of jihad is to enslave the kafir.
Was that clear enough for you guys? So, what's the lesson that we have learned today? Stop apologizing for the Crusades. The Crusades were justified. The Crusades were defensive. Stop letting people who hate you and who want to take over your countries and your civilizations, stop allowing them to rewrite history and stop allowing them to paint you as the aggressors in order to guilt trip you into appeasing their intolerance of your countries and your traditions and your values. Because again, as an Iranian, I'm telling you right now, I wish that Iran had been able to have something similar to what the Crusades were, because then maybe my country wouldn't be under an Islamic occupation and it wouldn't be a 7th century Islamic hellhole governed by Sharia law. And now you know.
Couldn't have said it better. Like I said, fuck Islam. And fuck everyone who promotes it, especially white leftist women who know nothing about it. And that is us for today. Thank you so much for joining us, everyone. Do we need a palate cleanser?
We do need a palate cleanser.
Okay, let me find something as a palate cleanser.
Bam.
Oh, here we go. This is cool. I saved this and like from Atheist Republic, right? So, oh, sorry, I should have freaking opened where the actual thing was, tab was. Hold on, here we go. So this is very cool. We've got Goldie on the Atheist Republic channel talking about Islam exercising their military people. So this might be a good way to end it all. So thank you everyone for hanging out with us today. We'll be back on Saturday, New Zealand, for the MPST show, which this is, for episode 5, and it'll be Friday for the northern folks. A palate cleanser. you have to provide me that image, and I'll put it up next time. Okay,
yeah,
thank you, sir.
Yeah. Totally do that.
So check this out. They showed this in the morning show on state TV a few years ago. So this in Islam, right? Maybe, it might be a treat. All right, here we go. So
yeah, so you know how like you wake up in the morning and like you turn on the TV and there's like exercise programs on certain TV channels. Yeah, this is the jihadi exercise program.
Ya Reza, Ya Reza, Ya Mahdi, Ya Mahdi, Ya Mahdi, Ya Zahra, Ya Zahra, Ya Zahra. Inshallah که دنیا و آخرت از خط ولایت صلوات فرستید.
I don't know what that was. Inshallah, something.
Get physical. Let's get physical. I want to see your body tone. I want to see your body tone.
I thought you were saying something about mashed potatoes. Mashed potatoes.
This is the aerobic jazzercise. That's the word. Jazzercise. I'm thinking about like what's her name?
Yes, that's exactly how I work out.
Olivia Newton-John, and she had her, and there was the other guy. Who was the guy? Was it Simon somebody who also was doing it? But this is what you see on Islamic TV, bro. An old fart in his 70s or 80s showing 20, 30-year-old man, 40-year-old man how to exercise.
And like you turn on the TV and there's like exercise programs on certain TV channels. Yeah, this is the jihadi exercise program.
Ya Reza, Ya Reza.
Yeah, that's right, Richard Simmons.
Ya Mahdi, Ya Mahdi, Ya Mahdi,
This is
Ya
Iranian
Zahra,
TV, by the way,
Ya
national
Zahra,
TV.
Ya Zahra. İnşallah ki dünya ve ahiret afkat veladına salavat versin.
I don't know what that was. Inshallah, something about the world. So like Allah willing, something about the world. I don't know. Durka, Islamic something. I don't know, man.
No.
And then they're also talking about Zahra, but Zahra isn't one of the imams because I know she's a woman. So I don't know. Zahra is either like the wife or the concubine or like the bastard daughter of like one of the imams. I don't know which one, but Zahra is one of them.
ما صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم.
Oh, I know what that is. That's a salavat. So he's sending like a salavat, which is like some sort of prayer to like Muhammad. So now they're like during the exercise routine, they're praying to Muhammad. Sorry guys, I'm not as good as translating jihadi. I'm not as good as translating jihad to English because this is like literally not my thing. Like I don't care about this, but yeah, so they're like sending some sort of like salavat is like, I don't know, a prayer or something. So they're like praying to Muhammad for something, praying to Muhammad during the exercise.
By the way, this guy's probably has been funding terrorism all his life, right? These are all jihadis, right? Murderers, rapists, right? Hostage takers.
He looks like a forgotten character from Street Fighter. Mashed potato? Mashed potato? God is all? God is all?
صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم. بسم الله.
Oh, and then say Bismillah, right? Bismillah, in the name of God. So then they say Bismillah. You know, it's like that verse in Queen, right? You know, Bismillah. We will not let you go. Anyway, so he says Bismillah, I guess in the name of Allah. And then they're like, then they start their like
عجل فرجهم. بسم الله.
cardiac.
You put your left foot out, you put your left foot in, you put your left foot out.
And that's how you do the hokey pokey, right? This is what Islam looks like in Iran. This is
He
what
said something about smeller. Maybe they were
smelling their own farts.
praying to that one comic book artist.
You mean Mark S. Miller? Similar?
Yeah, they're praying to Mark S. Miller that they're his follower. They're his followers. Mark S. Miller. Mark S. Miller.
Check out what the chat's saying here. Tehran, Backstreet Boys, and Bismillah. What else you got? Yeah, you got lots of laughter. Imam Master Husseini Hussein Durka Grand Master Yuck. Black Belt Splitter.
The Iraqi boys.
Yeah. Tehran Backstreet Boys.
Oh my God, what is this?
They're training to be the first Middle Eastern breakdance crew.
Yeah. WNK 2525 says, right, Bohemian Rhapsody will never be the same again. You see this every time you hear it. Bismillah, I won't let you go, let you go, let you go. Let him go, let him go, let him go to his grave. Before he blows up more people, all right? Sends these people out to kill more people. Iran's furloughs. Oh, shit.
Gotta cut loose. That's weird. Now they're dragging their butt across the carpet like a dog.
Maybe he didn't have maybe he forgot to wipe it with stones, with the 3 stones. He's supposed to wipe it. Yeah. Maybe that's what it's like. Yeah, he forgot to follow the scriptures and wipe his ass with 3 stones. Yeah, So now he's got to wipe it, run across like a cat with what is it called when what is that when like dogs when it doesn't they don't get it all out. Yeah, and so they start like running across the carpet. I saw somebody actually did a meme or something of it, like recorded of a dog doing that. It was like a long streak. Maybe that's what they're going to do here. Like, oh yeah, he forgot to use he should have used the 3 shells, man. You're right.
He doesn't know how to use the 3 seashells?
Yeah. Well, these guys do live in the rock ages, like medieval times still. Yeah, that's it. Dogs dragging, occasionally drag ass. Yeah, that's what these are. These are dogs dragging their asses. On live TV, by the way. This is Iranian morning TV exercise channel. Up to it, my lady.
Is he gonna do his hurricane kick?
Oh, bro. You reckon they do twerks?
The dragon uppercut.
Oh, under the leg, bro. There's like kids. Like,
oh my God, what is this?
Yeah, dragging that ass. Oh, wait, dude wasn't even paying attention. He's doing it wrong in the back, right? Hold on. Dude, you're right. They're gonna twerk. He's gonna twerk on a pole. Like, wait. So here's him dragging the asses, right? Like a dog. And then what's this guy at the back here? Oh, what's with the legs?
Oh.
Wrist action.
Feel the burn.
Yeah, wrist action.
Is that So this is an exercise show. Armin showed like he showed like an edited version which had like I guess the Hokey Pokey song on it. You put your right foot in, you
That's
put
what
your
I was
right
thinking
foot
about.
out. So I was looking for the original.
Yeah.
This is the original. Yes, this is definitely like this is like jihadi Master Splinter and like the terrorist Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
So
the Black Hand.
This is like the Hokey Pokey, yeah. So but Armin had the Hokey Pokey song, and then I went and I found the original and I wanted to play it, but then Armin had to leave. So now I'm playing it for you guys. What's wrong with these people? I don't know. They're Muslim. I don't know what's wrong with them. Not my circus, not my monkeys. I'm sorry. I cannot. I can't. I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with them. But
all right, that's it for us today. Thank you guys. But I thought, a bit of a palate cleanser, the crazy nutters. But yeah,
you need to give that to Raptor so he can play it during his show.
Yeah, that's actually better than the. I hate that song he plays. That I can't say I hate it. I just like it when he plays that Allahu Akbar over and over again. It's like, dude, that's like, calling out God's name, right? I like Allah, Satan's name, right?
I always say it sounds like they're saying, hello, Matt Barr.
Yeah. Well, you could always change it, right? You could do like AI change it to hello, Matt Barr. So I just want to put up here 2 channels to do check out, guys, which is 1, 2, 3. Let me go back up here. Where are we? Yeah, Atheist Republic. Do go check that out. And also do check out Goldie's channel, which is here. Thank you guys for joining us wherever you are. Hopefully last episode's low mic didn't bother you guys, and that you listened to what I said on there, because like half the mic's plug was pulled out. I didn't realize. So apologies for that. But we'll catch you Saturday, Sunday, New Zealand time this coming week. But also, I think in the middle of the week, we've got an interview with one of my artists talking about the comic book Howler, which we bring it to Kickstarter in March as a two books, one Kickstarter. Tim, do you got anything to say as we go out?
No, just check out my books on Amazon, and the fourth one, I should be getting an update on page 34 pretty soon.
That's his link. I don't know why you always put the whole thing in, but it's Velvet Velvet Comics 6679. Just there. That's all you got to do, dude. And if you just go to my to the description for this video, it's there.
Yep.
And
okay.
the link's there. Anyway,
click on that link.
Do check out what he's got going on, and also we'll catch you on the next one. Wherever you are, be well, be safe, and make sure that you don't let anyone become a Muslim in your family. Ka kite ano. Catch you on the flip side. Be well, and also, yeah, thank you for writing. Yeah, well, I don't have a producer, but my imaginary producer will get back to you with apology for it. Thank you, SS. Catch you all later, guys. Have a good one. Share it, like, subscribe. Help the algorithm, and I'm putting out little short videos. Click on that. Get me to 1 million views. Make me viral on the short videos. That'll be pretty awesome. But the other thing, cool things about those, give me a virus. Viral virus. The good thing that I've noticed about the short videos is actually people started to follow us more, right? Subscribe to the channel more. So thank you for that. We're being real here. We don't bullshit and try to put on some kayfabe bullshit. And yeah, it is what it is, and we say it like it is. Well, I say it like it is. Tim can, say whatever he wants. What do you want to say, Tim?
Yes. I keep it real.
We keeps it real, and hopefully you find it fun and educational and enough to bring you back again. Ka kite ano. Catch you on the flip side, guys. See you all around.
Nope. Can't stay here anymore. I gotta get back. I think this was the spot. Oh Lord, I beseech thee, please return me to my old life. I swear I'll do anything. Like, literally anything. And I won't bother you again, so pretty please bring me back to life.